Sam Logue here for irishboxing.com. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Pody Mccrory here in GLEANN Amateur Boxing Club in Belfast. I learned how to say it today. Pody, well, first of all, how are you? We're like kind of just post-Christmas into the new year. How's things been, and just how are you in general?
Yeah, very good. So I just had a new baby girl 3 weeks ago.
Unreal, man.
Yeah, today. So
congratulations.
Thank you. 3 kids, and they're all under 4. So yeah, very challenging. But yeah. I'm still in the gym here. I'm still with the lads. And we're still working hard.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah, like funny enough, my brother has 2 young kids, and thank God I don't have 2 young kids at the moment. But I've seen the hard work that goes into it, and maybe lack of sleep and different things that are going on. Like, yeah, but Jesus, talk to me about that. Like, especially with the newborn now, it must be really difficult, and then fitting training in and kind of working your schedule around that. How difficult is that?
Yeah, it's challenging. So I still work. So I work about 25 hours a week as well. And I'm very hands-on with my kids. I love being around them. So I try to make time for them. Yeah. I try to make time for the gym. I try to make time for work. Challenging, but listen, it's the life that I choose. So I'll just keep plugging away.
100%. So you're just going to keep plugging away, but that's brilliant, mate. It's amazing that you're still able to come down and like you're in great form, unbelievable good sparring. Like, that's great. Is there like any kind of lack of sleep stuff that goes on with the kids, or has it been smooth sailing?
No, there's definitely been lack of sleep, but my wife's brought up with that. In terms of night feeds and stuff, I don't really do them, but we're in the same room, so it does affect me. Yeah, and then and then most mornings I'm up at 5:30, for work. So sleep's a challenge, but I try to nap all the time. Well, not all the time, but just when I can. But I try not to let it affect me too much.
Yeah, I get you. No, it's good that you seem to be able to balance it pretty well. So just moving off that for a minute, you obviously had probably one of the better 2021s of all the Irish boxers. You had 2 fights, which to some people might sound like not that many, but you had 2 big wins, and that was the thing. You fought at the Fela card, massive win against a Russian. That was Gorokov, billed as like a 50-50 fight. You made that one look relatively easy actually on the night, and then you had another big win against Neves on the Ulster Hall show there just a couple of months just before Christmas. Just reflect on the year for me. How was that year for you? Was it a massive year for you? Was it a standard? What are your feelings looking back on it now?
Yeah, so it started off very disappointing. I done a full camp. I got the Bodlin, and in the last hour, I got a strange injury, a crazy injury. So it started off bad, but I kept grinding. I kept on to my management, my team, and we got a big fight for the Fela. I fought Gorokov, which I knew was a risk, but it was in the Falls Park, and I believe nobody's going to there isn't much people who's going to beat me in the Falls Park. So I took that. I won my first minor title, and it was amazing. And then I was coming in event in the Ulster Hall, and for me it's such a massive thing, because when I first started boxing, I probably wasn't a name to be seen to go this far. I probably wasn't meant to get past decent journeyman level, but I always had talent. I just didn't work hard as an amateur, but now I'm working hard, and I'm here now. I'm number 9 in the world with WBA, which I'm very proud of, and there's some big fights right down the line. Yeah.
Is that the route you're looking to go down, the WBA?
Yeah. Do you know what? I was surprised to see that, because I'm obviously WBC
international silver.
Yeah. And then I got a text saying that I was number 9 WBA, which I was very, very happy about. But there's loads of routes. There's the European route, and then there's maybe the international route, the WBA international or WBC international. So loads of options. We might have something big in the pipeline, which I'm really excited about as well. So yeah.
It's not something we can mention on camera, I don't think, at the moment, but hopefully it's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Listen, it'll be a massive fight for me. If it comes off, it's a big risk, but again, I always go on about my age. I'm 33. I probably don't feel like a 33-year-old. I feel super fit. I feel like I'm getting better all the time. But yeah, there's a massive fight coming up.
Is that what it's about for you now? Is it about kind of taking big fights and trying to take opportunities, and then I suppose what comes along with big fights tends to be a bit more money and stuff like that. Is that kind of what it's about now, or is the goal to aim for the world title and it's not really about like the spectacle of the fights or how big the fights are or how big the money is? It's more about getting to that title. You know, what is it that you want from it now?
So, like I remember 4 years ago now, like one of my very first interviews, I was asked like what's my aim from boxing, and my response was to be mortgage free. And I'm getting very close to that, but I'm in a very good position at the minute, and I just have to keep adjusting my goals. As I say, I'm number 9 in the world, and I think like there's anything possible.
So the goal is still to get to that world title, but you just keeping kind of an open mind towards it.
Yeah, like world title's massive. Like will I ever get there? I don't know, but I'll just keep grinding away, fighting who's put in front of me, and if I keep winning, I'm probably only 2 or 3 fights away from that.
Yeah, you're creeping closer and closer. That's for sure. You seem to have a really good team around you. You've got Walsh coaching you, who's a really up-and-coming coach who's starting to be recognised for what he's able to do. And then you've got Jamie Conlon managing your career. Just talk to me about the influence and, I suppose, the expertise of both of those two men in their fields in guiding your career. How much of a help have they been in their respective areas in terms of your career?
Yeah, both very young, like in what they do. Like he's 31 or 32, and he's a young coach, but he works really hard. He's in this gym 10 hours a day with the young kids, with us, and he's adapting all the time, and he's learning, and he's getting better, like with more experience. And I believe if it was like American, there'd be like people raving about him. And then Jamie Conlon has been there and done it. He's a very smart man. I like to tend to think like I understand the business side of boxing as well. Like I understand like when he's done, it's not just about like being able to fight. You gotta sell tickets. You gotta do the hard stuff first. But Jamie has been a massive help for me as well. And he's guided me like to where I am now. Like now, we've turned down fights. We've took fights. I've turned down fights without even knowing. I've been offered fights and didn't even know, and he said no. You know, so it's about getting the right fights at the right time. I believe I can beat 90% of people in the world as well. Do you know what I mean? So listen, I'm very thankful to have them in my corner. Yeah,
definitely. It seems like a fantastic team, and like that. And maybe, you know, like you're saying about Jamie kind of turning fights down on your behalf. Maybe that's part of what a good manager does. Is doesn't always come to you with everything, because their job is to manage your career and not to kind of pass all of the responsibility to you. It's like I suppose their role is to take some of the responsibility and go, no, that's not right for us, but maybe this one is, and then sometimes he consults you, sometimes he doesn't, but maybe that's what his role is, right? So there are a few names in and around kind of Britain, or more Britain in terms of like the super middleweights and around that your kind of level that could be great matchups. The current IBO champion and just former European champion is Lerone Richards. Is that a name that interests you? He's looks like a very tricky operator. Is that someone that you would love to jump in with? Obviously with Matchroom as well.
Lerone's he's a super fighter, and he seems to get better and better. Real tricky fight, but if it's the right fight, if it's the right thing on the line, if there's enough money, then it's definitely a fight that I'm open to. I think he's very good, and he's very talented. The super middleweight like division's stacked, absolutely stacked. Like from like there's like people like in the top 15 who are on the verge of world like world level as well. So there's a lot of potential fights there. But the one I'm hoping for is probably like beyond that level. And I think it's very close to being getting made.
Yeah. Okay, so I wish we could talk about it because it's a good fight, but there are, as I say, there are a load of names. Is a fight in America something that interests you, especially having like being Irish? I feel like we always have that ability to kind of transfer over to the American market, maybe a little bit easier, especially when you're already operating at the level you're operating at, world ranked, good WBC title under your belt. Excuse the pun. But someone like a Gabe Rosado or someone like that, would that be a fight that you would be interested in?
Yeah, massively. He's coming off some like massive wins and massive fights. And 2 years ago, like I could have never dreamed to fight these people, but now I put myself there, and I'm opening all them fights. Like Gabe Rosado's a massive fight. He's well known in America, tough as nails. But again, it's a fight I'm open to. I accepted a fight with David Lemieux. So
yeah, this is one I wanted to talk about.
yeah, so like I'm open to them fights.
Yeah. What happened with the David Lemieux stuff? Because I remember talking to Dee about it. We did an interview a few months ago, and he, like, as far as he's concerned, I mean, it must be lovely to have that backing from your coach as well. Like he would throw you in with pretty much anyone at this stage. He just thinks you're ready. You're at a good moment in your career where you're confident. You're ready to go in with anyone, and you do have that. I mean, you're a tidy boxer, but you've got that power where if you catch anyone, they can go, and that's always a real benefit. I feel like going into these higher level matchups. But he's ready to throw you in with anyone. And the Lemieux one was a real surprise to me. I was like, oh, that was kind of came out of left field. Didn't really think of that one. What actually happened there? Why did that not go ahead? Because it looked like it was a real runner for a while.
Yeah, so like talking about getting managed right. Like there's some fights there who are probably as hard as Lemieux, but the recognition that you would get with that wouldn't. There's not much benefit from that. So that fight was put to me. We accepted it. They accepted it. It was put to the TV company, and they thought that it wasn't a big enough fight. It was before my 2 big wins last year, so I was 11-0. Not really known, but now I've had 2 massive wins of a minor title. If that fight was put to me now, they might take it. But listen, I was ready to take a fight. I was ready to take that risk, and I was confident getting the win.
Yeah, 100%. I think Lemieux seems to be one of those guys that we saw Spike O'Sullivan go in with him. I think everyone would just be confident going in with him because he's a big puncher, but he looks like he can be outboxed perhaps, and he's one of those guys that a lot of guys are confident going in with. Is it a fight that you would push Jamie to try and make again, like as an American debut perhaps, or going over that side of the world?
Yeah, listen, I think the fight was put to Jamie, or I think like the name was put to Jamie, and he seen like that I was free and I was able to like accept that fight. So I don't think they came looking at me, but it's been mentioned and my name's there now. So
hopefully going forward,
if it can be made, like let's make it.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, the last thing I want to touch on really is talk a little bit about D. I want to get a bit of a word on D because he's been nominated for Trainer of the Year on the IrishBoxing.com awards, alongside some serious names like Pete Taylor, Zor Antia, Shane McGuigan is in there as an Irish coach. Obviously, is Irish, but operates in England. Yeah, and I'm missing someone now, which is appalling. I'm missing. I said Pete, didn't I?
Pete Taylor, Zor, Shane McGuigan, B. Walsh. And Andy Lee.
Andy Lee. How can you miss Andy Lee? Like,
yeah? But I'm going bald now, so I don't know.
So, a word on D, nominated for that award alongside some brilliant names. Yeah, like we already talked about like kind of what he's brought to your career, but just a mention on D being nominated for that award.
Yeah, listen, I think he deserves it. He works along with loads of amateurs as well, who are all very successful. So he's working with amateurs. He's working with people who's just starting their pro careers in Callum Murphy, who is up for pro debut of the year as well, which shows the work that he's put in as well. Yeah. And then he's working with me and Lewis, who's on the verge of who's fighting for international titles and stuff, and we're winning them kind of with ease as well, So he works extremely hard. He knows boxing inside out, and he'll adapt to what each fighter needs. So I think he deserves it. He's alongside some amazing coaches. Yeah. Pete Taylor, Shane, Andy, and whatever. Like people speak about like Lee is like being a teacher, which he speaks really well. So, but my best opinion would be D. Walsh probably deserves that title. Yeah.
Great to hear. We'll wrap it up there, Pody, but thank you so much. I know you have to shoot off on the school run now. Responsibilities, eh? But I really enjoyed being here today. The sparring was unbelievable. Really good stuff. I hope to hear an announcement about this pending big fight soon. But thanks so much for talking to IrishBoxing.com today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.